Books are an amazing resource for knowledge, a catalogue of humanity's collective information. Its enormity is its greatest attribute, but also its most intimidating quality. So where do you start? Do you go back to where records began? Do you just pick up the newest releases? There's an unfathomable amount of books on every topic. Some are masterpieces, some not so much. In this series of videos, I'm going to go through various topics, recommending some of the best books in their fields, so you can enjoy the best of the world of literature straight away. In this edition, I'm going to be recommending books from one of my favourite topics, philosophy. I'm going to be giving a mixture of all the branches of the subject, from classics to newer editions, and if you're interested in reading any of the books in this video, I'll leave links below where you can find them on Amazon through my affiliate links, which would really help me out. So the first on the list is an absolute favourite of mine, The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant. It's perfect as an introduction to philosophy, but also as a structured overview of the subject. I think regardless of reading level, you'll be able to take something away from this. Durant brilliantly goes through the history of philosophy as a narrative, highlighting a new individual with each chapter. He talks about them as a person, their philosophical achievements, and how they relate and affect the development of philosophy as a subject. He also does a fantastic job of showing how each philosopher impacted world history as well as just their subject. It's a fascinating read, and one that I would call an essential for anyone interested in philosophy. So for the next one, we're going back to one of the real classics, with Seneca's On the Shortness of Life. This is without a doubt the book that had the biggest impact on me after reading it. Seneca basically gives us a guide to living a fulfilling life, encouraging us to make the most of the time that we have and to use that time wisely. I think what makes this such a masterpiece is that despite being written 2,000 years ago, every word of the book still rings true and can be applied to modern life perfectly. Fitting into around only 100 pages, this is a must-read for anybody, even for those not yet captured by philosophy. Another outright classic by one of the godfathers of philosophy, Plato, one of the Greeks who helped birth and establish the subject, and the book is The Republic, one of the most fascinating in his catalogue. It's not a stretch to say that the next 2,000 years of society have their roots firmly planted in the morals and teachings that lie in the pages of The Republic, possibly one of the most influential writings of all time and a staple for any fan of philosophy. What we've covered so far is fairly accessible, but Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche is one that will really put your intellect to the test. Unlike Seneca, Nietzsche does not offer a relaxing afternoon read, but one that will truly challenge you as a thinker and force you to ponder every point made. Don't expect to understand everything on the first read, but believe me, this book will be one of the most influential reads you'll ever have. Being and Nothingness is one of the most important philosophical books of the last 100 years, written by the incredibly interesting Jean-Paul Sartre. It's one of the most powerful looks into reality ever written. With dense content and language, it can be a tricky one, but it would be a priceless addition to your collection. Where a lot of Western philosophy lies hidden under layers of context, written in forgotten languages, and talking about the most complex of metaphysical questions, Eastern philosophy offers a more simplistic and applicable read. The Analects by Confucius is a classic that can really change lives. The teachings of Confucius are simple and digestible, sometimes resulting in a mere sentence, but the meaningness and helpfulness stretch beyond your comprehension. You'll find yourself using the advice given in this book in every aspect of your life. Truly one of the most valuable books. Immanuel Kant is one of the most revered philosophers of all time, and Critique of Pure Reason is one of his most important contributions. In this book he breaks apart and delves deep into many aspects of life and showcases numerous groundbreaking thoughts. Kant really turned philosophy on its head with his work, and people are still trying to fully understand it today. He's certainly not one for the casual reader, but if you want to see some of the most in-depth and intelligent additions to the subject, Critique of Pure Reason is a good place to start. Voltaire is one of my favourite philosophers and truly one of the most interesting. Not only did he do a lot of fantastic things in his life, but the manner in which he done them is amazingly entertaining. Candide is one of Voltaire's most elegant works. He writes a fabulous story about our character Candide, tying in many of his philosophical beliefs. It's very accessible, and in a world of cryptic German philosophers and ancient Greek scriptures, Voltaire offers a welcome touch of theatre into our philosophy. Going back to another Greek classic here, The Essential Politics by Aristotle, probably one of the greatest philosophers of all time. Much like a lot of classic writings on this list, Politics delves deep into the core of its subject matter, tackling the basics and turning them into complicated dialogue. Much like the rest of his works, Politics is an essential read. Whether you're just getting into philosophy or have been reading for years, this is one for you for sure. Now to a fellow Scotsman, David Hume, and his magnificent work, A Treatise on Human Nature. Here he redefines a lot of philosophy, changing how we approach the subject and how we interact with it. This was an extremely important and groundbreaking piece, as was Hume in many aspects of his work. This is not only one of the most important works in recent philosophy, but philosophy in general, which is very impressive considering how Hume arrived after the majority of his peers. A Treatise on Human Nature is a great read, and David Hume is just such an interesting individual. So I hope you have a new set of books to get stuck into, and I'm certain you'll learn about an uncountable amount of useful philosophical thoughts from across the years. Remember, if you are interested in reading any of these books, please do use my affiliate links to Amazon in the description. I'll have all the books mentioned in this video there. It's a nice way of giving something back. And if you enjoyed this video, please do consider watching more from this channel or clicking the like button. I've got a bunch of other similar videos, so if you found this one interesting, I'm sure you'll find the others interesting too. I have other lists just like this one about subjects such as history or business. But thank you for watching this video, and I hope you did find it interesting.